Hello, this is Zach Clark, Development and Leadership Coaching. At this point in the year, you really have a need to establish some new momentum, kind of a final push of momentum to the end of December. And there are a lot of ways that you can do this, but I think that the most effective way, not only for the short term or the long term, is to really unleash some hidden capacity in your ministry by getting the right people involved doing the right things. There are people in your vicinity, in your community, somewhat connected to your ministry that God has placed there and equipped to make a huge impact on what you're doing. The problem is those people usually don't know who they are yet. They're out there. They have amazing gifts and abilities, maybe resources, certainly talents and experience, but they don't know who they are. They have good feelings toward you and your ministry. They are involved in different ways, but they haven't yet seen how they could really make a big difference. And I think, unfortunately, most of the time with those people, we just communicate with them, we ask them to give, we maybe try to fit them into some volunteer roles that we've already got, and then nothing happens and we move on. You know some of the people I'm talking about if you think about it. I want to share with you a simple way, really quickly, that you can get new momentum by engaging these people in the right way, doing the right things. And that is the concept of a task force. A task force. Okay, this is not an advisory group. This is not a committee. This is a task force. The name implies that they have a task to do. These are people who are going to get something done for your ministry. And they really are going to focus in on one thing. Let me give you a few examples, because I really learned this the hard way. I tried and believe in advisory committees and advisory councils, and we'll talk about that in other content. But the task force was something that I really struggled with for a long time until I figured out exactly the right approach, and I want to share this with you. Okay, number one, a task force focuses on one particular area only, just one specific project or area. I'll give you a few examples of some task forces that I've been involved in. There was a financial future task force, leadership giving task force, social media task force, communications task force, public relations task force, professional women's leadership task force, future sustainability task force. I mean, I could go on for a while, and no, those were not all running at the same time, and these aren't standing committees. They get started for a season, and they work hard, and they accomplish something very significant for your future. That's why it builds so much momentum. You're not trying to keep the same people involved in the same role forever. You're trying to get the right people who have the right talent and experience and wisdom and resources and connections to help you take your ministry to the next level. Now, how do you figure out who to ask, and how do you figure out how to form this task force? Number one, you need to not have a task force that's meeting a bunch of times. This is a task force that meets 4, 5, 6 times and gets a project accomplished start to finish. Number two, the way you know how to focus a task force in is you need to know what your priorities are for the ministry. What are you struggling with the most right now? Where do you need new connections? Where do you need new political influence? Maybe you're taking on research about a future loan for your ministry that's going to help you in a major project. Maybe you have a huge hurdle in your fundraising that you're doing. You focus in on a particular area. Now, you might be able to tell me what those projects are and those priorities are. If you don't have a task force on this, then I can tell you what's going to happen. You're only going to do what you already know how to do, and you're only going to utilize the capacity you already have. You're not actually going to come up with anything truly changing your organization, and you're certainly not going to stretch out the reach and involvement and momentum that you really can. You're just going to do what you know to do. So if you tell me it's a priority or project or strategy, you need to also tell me you've got a task force formed on this. And then lastly, the way you pick people. You've got to pick people that are hammers for this particular type of problem, okay? They would see this problem or this project as a nail, and they are a hammer, and they know how to do with that. And they know what to do with that. They know how to bang that nail. That's who you're looking for. If it's major giving, you're looking for people that are major donors themselves, or could be. You're looking for people who've been involved with that run in those circles. If it's bank financing, it's people that not only are on the banking side, but people who do big deals in their work. If it's communications, it's people who are, this is their field. This is what they do. This is how they know how to get things done, the way they view the world. You will be amazed at the impact this has. And the reason why it's worth the effort and time on your part is because it will save you time and it'll expand your influence. So that's it, kind of fast download, but this is one of those momentum building activities you can start right now and see the fruit of before the end of this calendar year. Let me know how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.